Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show, Brushing My Teeth to Mersbo, the noise show, also the best radio show in Alaska. Today's another pre-recorded episode, but it's special because it's not a pre-recorded episode about politics. Today's show is with my friend Hayden. I won't say his last name because I didn't ask him how anonymous he wants to be, but Hayden and I today talk about the band Gergerigegege, which is a Japanese band, and depending on what you think about them, they may be one of your favorite bands or one of the worst bands of all time. And I think most people are gonna generally go with the latter, but they're an interesting band, so we talk about them, and enjoy the show. Oh, but one more thing before the show starts is that be prepared to turn the volume down when the songs start. I did try to normalize the volume so that the audio levels are pretty equal, but some of it's still pretty loud, I think. For reference, our voice audio gain is at +1, and then the loudest song, which is the last one, is at -15. So I did try to mix and normalize it, but just for your lovely listeners' ears, be prepared to turn the volume down, just in case.
Get that mustache out there. Oh, we're now recording.
I'll start recording right now because we got to get the message out there.
We do got to get the message out there. Mustaches are important.
Okay.
They can't just be for creeps anymore.
This is a message
for important people.
This is a message for Obama.
Yeah.
We need mustaches to come back, and I don't always agree with your politics, maybe a little bit too many drone strikes, but everybody knows that you were a very cool president, and if you grew out a mustache, it would really help push the mustache agenda along.
And with that police officer thing going on, a little more diversity, and isn't that what America's all about, diversity? Come on, get that mustache going.
We got to get the mustaches going, get them flowing. I know.
Come on, Jimmy, don't we need to introduce you? Quick shift. I know, quick shift here, but this is KSUA. Oh, I don't have the number. I think it's 97.1. Jimmy Legs on air.
KSUA 91.5, Fairbanks, Alaska. Okay,
well, you go about Jimmy Legs, right?
They don't know about Jimmy Legs.
Well, you got to introduce him to Jimmy Legs.
I'm not gonna.
The extra mile. You're Jimmy Legs.
I'm not gonna talk about that. That was years ago. I don't have the Jimmy Legs anymore. I'm not running the 400.
Whoa! Did your legs just fall off, Jimmy?
Legs didn't fall off. They just don't have the muscle capacity that they used to.
People don't need to know that, okay? Just flash of their face.
Okay. Well, I'm Jimmy Legs, DJ and host. Let's just get straight into the show. So today, the show is about the band called Gergerigegege, which is a Japanese band. I've wanted to talk about them for a while, and I didn't bring them up, but we started chatting again a couple weeks ago, and then I remembered a little thesis that we had going a while back.
For a while, I thought you were talking to the viewers and not me, but now you say thesis, I'm locked in. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't want to put out the
Top
details.
Secret.
Top secret thesis, but it kind of is related to the band in a way, because the band, it's a very noisy band and a very vile band as well. So I thought that you'd be the perfect co-host for this.
I'm flattered that you tied that part in.
Yeah.
People go, yeah, I see why they picked them. Probably not, but I see the connection. I know why. Yeah, it's not that flattering, but
if
I appreciate it nonetheless.
It was a good thesis that we were working on.
Yeah, still in progress. I still think about it some days.
But today we're going to talk about the Gergerigegege.
Which is a sound you'd make with this top secret thing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily you, but you get the point.
I have this list that was made by a guy named his name is Lardo Pirate, I guess, on Rate Your Music. He details every Gergerigegege list or release, and
But can we trust him? Does he have a mustache, for instance?
I don't know. Maybe I can send him an email or tweet at him.
If he doesn't have a mustache, his opinion to me below a 6.8. He doesn't even get a 7 status. I was gonna go 6.9, but that's just too high.
Okay, he doesn't have a picture, I don't think.
Maybe that's because he has a mustache, but he's just not confident. He's a little self-conscious. And I understand. I get it.
I don't see his face anywhere. And he also apparently has not visited Rate Your Music in the past 60 days. So it's been a while. But big shout out to him. He collected all of the releases and he talks about all of them. We're going to go through them and listen to a couple. We're not going to listen to all of them because, one, there's a lot, and two, some of it is just like insane. But it's a noise music show, so we're
not gonna listen to the most insane stuff.
I think one of them I did. I don't remember why I chose the albums that I did. Or we're not listening to albums. I mean songs. We're not gonna listen to full albums. That'd be a little. Oh, I did. Okay, there's one that we'll get to later, but he says they've done a lot of difficult releases under the category, but this one is definitely the loudest. So that's one of the most insane ones.
I don't usually correlate loud to insane, but I'll see. I'll be the judge of that.
You will after this. But so what's going to happen is I'm going to go through these. We're going to listen to a couple songs from a couple different albums. Some of them are kind of long, so you can cut it off whenever you want. I'm not going to force you to listen to all of these, but when I do the radio show, I'm going to edit in the full song. And then I don't think we can. I don't think I can play the songs for you over Zoom. So I send you all the links to the songs too.
I did notice that. I was like, what's up with that? But we give it to the people raw. I see how it is. No edits.
Yeah, I try to do the least amount of editing possible. But
you don't put 2 minutes of effort for every minute put in? Come on, Jimmy.
No, I need the people.
Where's the legwork, Jimmy?
I want the people to get the authentic experience. I'm not gonna. If I say
you want them to get it raw.
Yeah, if I say something stupid, I don't want to edit it out, and then the people think I'm just some sort of genius. I want people to know.
Yeah,
that I make mistakes too.
Transparent, the truth.
I want the truth. That's all. That's what the show's all about. Bringing the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
It's all about that noise.
It's all
through the noise. You give the truth. This is Jimmy Legs. I'm not Jimmy Legs. Let's not be confused.
Sometimes
not two Jimmys here.
I'm dropping the truth bombs, and truth bombs, they can be pretty noisy.
So do I click on 2 here?
Not yet. I'll explain what's happening. I'm also going to share my screen. Obviously, the radio listeners can't see that, but I don't want them to. Let's just get straight into it. Hopefully you're okay. Oh, I should also say this before I start the show. There's going to be a lot of talk about sex and masturbation because this is a vile band. So hopefully you're okay with that. Hopefully the radio listeners are okay with that. If you're a parent and you're listening with your kid, you'd probably want to turn it off, but whatever.
Whatever, Jimmy, you love your fans. Come on.
Okay.
There's thousands of listeners out there. You don't want to lose one. Okay. And that's an understatement. I should have said millions.
Yeah, it is millions. I get so many emails just like all the time. I had to set up a separate email account. They're just piling in.
Yeah, you're drowning in it, Jimmy. But you got Jimmy Legs. You go the extra legwork. You get the emails done. You personally respond to every single one.
I do. Sometimes it's a 23-hour day just responding to emails, but I do it for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, also, no swearing, because my show's before 10 p.m. So all the swear words on this list.
Your show's been what?
It's before 10 p.m.
Oh, but after 10 p.m. you can.
Yeah.
Interesting. You learn something new every day.
And then But one thing that's weird, you can't play sexual content on the air before or after 10 p.m. So that's just allowed, or it's never allowed. It's never allowed. But you can swear after 10 p.m.
Wow. It's always after 10 p.m. somewhere, though.
That's true. maybe we could say that this show is for, let's see, my show's at 8, so this show's for mountain time. Is it mountain time?
Yeah, you go two zones over.
Yeah, this show is for mountain time in the east.
But don't worry, Jimmy, tight lips right here.
Okay,
but they'll be wide open with words, but tight lips on various words.
Okay, I appreciate that. I haven't listened to most of these either, so I'm gonna get the live reaction too with you. Give a thumbs up if the song's over, and if you want to just cut it, you can just like do this.
Oh, I give it to the people raw, Jimmy. We never cut.
Okay, we'll listen to the full. I don't know if we will for some of these. Some of them are.
If you want to not give it to the people raw, you can cut it. No big deal.
I'm just offering to you if you want to cut it, because some of these are going to.
Well, I appreciate the offer, Jimmy.
So let's get right into it. Who the bleep are the Gergerigegege? They're one of the most interesting bands to come out of the Japanese noise scene. And for the listeners, I'm reading from this list now. They had a very large variation of styles, including noise, punk, rock, ambient, solo, piano, and of course, masturbation. Mainly,
Jimmy, this is before 10 p.m. Cool it down.
Masturbation is okay. I got the okay from the manager. I can say that. I can talk about it. It's mainly managed by Juntaro Yamanouchi, who is a cross-dresser, apparently, and a man known only as Ghetto30, a homeless artist that Juntaro befriended. And his only job was to masturbate, like on the albums or during live performances. One of the famous trademarks of the Gergerigegege was the senzuri, which means 1,000 rubs in Japanese. It's like some sort of like I don't know. It's another word for masturbation, I guess. But they do a lot of weird things with senzuri, which is they put it on Christmas songs, drum machines, noise songs, obviously, and then spaghetti western soundtracks. The name that it comes from is onomatopoeic. Is that a word?
You know, Jimmy, you're talking to... I'm just not as smart as you, Jimmy. I don't know if those are words or not.
Okay. Well, it's an onomatopoeia as well as a portmanteau, two big words that I'm using here.
Yeah, what's the average education of the viewers, Jimmy?
It is college radio. I think you have to have a college education in order to listen to college radio.
Yeah, but you're telling me there's millions of college-educated people out there listening to this?
Yeah, they love stuff like this.
Wow. And they must love big words. You're just throwing them around, embarrassing people like me.
It makes them feel smarter. It's like, oh yeah, I know what that 4-syllable word means.
People do like it when you stroke their ego.
Yeah. Oh, here's this is good. It's an onomatopoeia and a portmanteau, which I'm sure all of the listeners know what that means because you're all so intelligent. They also call themselves Japanese ultra bleep band. The bleep there is the S word.
Oh, there's just so many S words, Jimmy.
There is.
Better pull that dictionary out.
Here, we're going to start with the first release. The author of this list says, this is probably as confusing and weird as they ever were. There's very little info on it, but there seems to be usual noise gear like guitars that loop, and the awful way of recording makes the tape really strange. It pulsates and grinds like a machine, and there's no vocals. But this is their first release, and you're going to see the album cover too. It's quite the album cover. But
yeah, it is, Jimmy.
I won't describe it on air. It's too graphic for the listeners.
These are college-educated listeners, Jimmy. They can handle it.
Okay, well,
You don't need to describe it.
I won't describe it. I won't describe it. But if you skip
These are
to
college-educated listeners, Jimmy. If they want to see it, they can search it up.
yeah, that's true. If you guys want to see it, it's the self-titled album by the Gergerigegege from
You want to spell
1985.
that for them, Jimmy?
Gerogigegege. That's the only chance you get. That's the only time I'm going to spell it.
They wouldn't even have the time to pick up a pen, Jimmy. What, people are just having a pen in their hand, Jimmy? Paper in front of them?
They're smart. They all have all my listeners have at least a master's degree. They they got it all memorized.
Wow. I need to get myself a master's degree. I didn't know your memory just improves that quickly.
Yeah, it does. It's part of the requirement for graduating with a master's.
I probably just wouldn't graduate then.
We're going to listen to A2, Rosalind Bruno. So yeah, let's listen to it now, and then we'll describe how we feel about it when it's done. Okay, that was the second song off their first album called Rosalind Bruno. How does that make you feel?
Jimmy, it was inspirational for me, Jimmy, because when I listen to stuff like that, I go, wow, I could be a musician, okay? I might not have a master's degree. I might not be able to remember these long, ridiculous names, but I can make something like this. At least I tell myself this, who knows, maybe not. But, also very soothing. You could play this to a baby. It's got that nice heartbeat sound, boom, boom, boom. Sure, it's also got doors opening and closing at the end, but what baby hasn't slept through doors opening and closing? But then you get this whole I'm going to make these SpongeBob wee-woo sounds for no reason. But hey, fun on them, man. Although I have to say, since this is the first song, it is very distracting to listen to the song and have to look at their album cover. Maybe that's the part of the ploy.
Yeah, it's quite the album cover. Probably not the worst one, believe it or not. We're going to see some bad ones.
Well, it's mostly the upper half. It's actually the upper half. You think it would be the lower half, but it's the upper half because it's so dark. It just draws your eye. For the viewer, for the radio listener, I know you don't get it, but you got to look it up.
I'm sure they'll look it up. They're a dedicated bunch. Yeah, that was my first time listening to that as well. Not too bad. It was pretty short, though.
I know, but if it was on any longer, I would have went to sleep because it was so relaxing.
Well, the next album that comes out is called Senzuri Champion. And apparently this one is a fan favorite. This guy says, Juntado probably never got so varied as he is here. Starts out with a pleasant, that's probably one of the few times you're going to hear that word here. Starts out with a pleasant field recording of some bells, and then goes into total noise onslaught and your private parts for 9 minutes. After this, we hear a man masturbating and groaning as an introduction to as an introduction to a sludgy punk jam with Juntaro yelling rock and roll into a feedback microphone. I think part of the band's whole concept is just like the end of art and taking art to the most extremes possible. You can probably tell by just the amount of times that masturbation is going to come up in these albums. So now we're going to listen to a song from this one. I haven't listened to it yet either. The song is called Anal Beethoven. They say anal a lot, kind of their thing. And let's just go ahead and give it a listen. if I'm going to be completely honest, I did actually like that song.
Well, they tricked me, Jimmy. They said it was going to be
How?
pleasant. I was imagining it to be quite pleasurable. Or no, it wasn't either of those things.
Well, the first song on this album is pleasant. This is not that song though.
Mm,
One thing I
okay.
meant one thing I meant to ask you before we got into this is what kind of music do you normally listen to?
Oh, who knows, man? Who knows?
I feel like you would know if anybody did.
Well, you'd think, but if I don't know, maybe nobody knows.
Well, I
Very
guess
productive question there, Jimmy.
I guess we don't know.
We
But
don't know.
I usually don't listen to music as extreme as this, even though
I would like to say you sent me. You maybe remember you sent me that one. If you scroll up, it said you sent me that one thing where it's just like noise. That is just so pleasant. I love listening to that.
the Goslings.
I think maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember sending that to you a while ago, and you never told me if you liked it or not.
I thought I did send it. Say I liked it.
I don't remember that, but it's good to know now at least that you did like it.
It's
That's,
just like fuzz, radio fuzz, basically, right?
yeah, that's probably the album that got me into noise music so much because it's so insanely loud, but it is like pleasant too at the same time. It's really weird.
Oh yeah. No more thinking for you.
Exactly. But that album is called Grandeur of Hair by the Goslings.
That is it.
For any of the listeners that want to check that out. But any thoughts on Anal Beethoven?
Well, I kept waiting for the pleasant part, Jimmy.
I thought that was pretty good actually. It was very extreme. It sounded like it got more extreme as the song went on, which was kind of surprising. But I did enjoy that.
I'll agree with you. It did get more extreme as the song went on.
Okay, well, you're not agreeing with me when I say that I enjoyed it. So
No, I agree. You enjoyed it, Jimmy.
okay. And then after that, they released a single called Live at Tokyo Gay Center, which is neither a live album nor was it at anything called the Tokyo Gay Center. So I don't really know what's up with that, but apparently that's just a bunch of buzzing from guitar cables. And then this one's probably one of my favorites not to listen to. I've never listened to this, but as a concept, it's probably one of my favorites. It's called Showa. The album cover depicts late Emperor Hirohito, who died shortly before the album's release. The album starts and finishes with the Japanese national anthem, and the only thing in between is just the sound of a couple making love. So it starts with the anthem, two people making love, and then that's the end of, and then it does the anthem again, and that's the end. Oh man, the manager told me to listen to or to watch a documentary or movie before I did the show. I totally forgot to do that. I'll have to. Hopefully, he's not listening, and he finds out that I didn't watch the documentary. So that one's one of my favorites. And then other versions of this album had the same music in it, but the cover just said Ramones, and it was like a fake Ramones album that he would sell to people. Are you muted?
Oh no, no, Jimmy. I just have nothing to say here.
You don't have anything to say about this stuff?
A couple made love in between the anthem. I can't imagine what that's even like for an album.
I don't know. I didn't listen to it. I haven't listened to most of the stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Like we're not. Yeah, come on, Jimmy.
Well, we can't listen to this one because I can't play it on the radio. That one is not allowed to be played on the radio.
I see how it is.
But the next one, this is the album where I found out about the Gergerigegege because I was doing a presentation for my Japanese class about Japan noise, which is just Japanese noise music. And this was one of the biggest ones. It's called, what does this say? Panku no Oni, a Panku demon. I don't know what Panku is, though. Editor's note, Panku is clearly punk. I don't know why I didn't figure that out. The English name is Tokyo Anal Dynamite. And this one, I think, might be the most well-known release. It's definitely one of the most insane ones.
It's 75 songs in about half an hour, and none of them are longer than a minute. The whole album is like somebody says 1 2 3 4. He says this name of the song 1 2 3 4, and then it's just like blasts of noise. We're gonna listen to something similar later, which we don't have to listen to the whole thing, but
No, I'm excited, Jimmy.
okay. And this guy says musically it's as hypnotizing as Loveless. And for those who don't know, Loveless is like considered like one of the best shoegaze albums ever. So he describes it as good as Loveless, a hardcore punk noise shoegaze album if there ever was one. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I don't think it's that good. But then after that, they have a song called All My Best to You with Love, Juntaro, which is just 2 J-pop songs. So this guy has a lot of variety. Okay, we're going to talk about this one too. This is called Live Greatest Hits. I don't know if this is actually live. The first track uses a drum machine. On the second track, Ghetto 30 seems to be putting a guitar cable all over his pee-pee. The last song is banging on metal pipes and accordions, I guess. And then the liner notes includes a list of used instruments, which are ejaculation, whip, vibrator, hand, enema, erectic cord. Pretty fun. The next one is called Senzuri Power Up, which is another recording in a band format, and a very gross album cover. It's a lot of I'm going to describe this one. It's a doctor like holding a baby that was just born. It's kind of gross. I actually played this last week on the radio show, a song from here. We can listen to Anal Beethoven 2, which is the sequel to the song we just listened to. Or we can listen to Car Sex MacDonald Drive-In Let's Go, which I know you have a bit of a history with McDonald's. So I thought, what?
The second one.
Car Sex MacDonald Drive-In Let's Go.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. I like this one. I know this one. I like it. We'll listen to this and be right back. Okay, so that was Car Sex McDonald Drive-In. Let's go. Maybe my favorite one.
By far. There was something to attach to in the beginning. The fact that they had that like guitar, just kind of the bass guitar just there. Like I know it fades really quickly, but there was something that like, oh, it's not just noise.
Yeah,
There's something there.
they kind of trick you a little bit, but then it pretty quickly gets into noise. It's just like feedback on both sides of your headphones, and then there's like a really simple drum beat.
I am missing out, right? Because I'm not wearing the headphones, and when I listen to Grandeur of Noise, there's that headphones. It does completely change the experience.
Yeah, it does sound on. If you don't have headphones on, this is going to sound like even worse than it already does, because all the noise just blends together. I really like this one. First, because of the name. I really love the name. Second, I don't know. I just really like the feedback and the like simple rhythm part. Does this remind you of your time at McDonald's at all?
No, it really doesn't. Also, I didn't work at a McDonald's with a drive-in or a drive-through, so
maybe that's.
But maybe if I did, then it would.
Yeah, if you had worked at a drive-in, you would have like experienced something visually that was the same as this.
Yeah, it's misfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is called the More Bleep EP, and this is where they first called themselves a Japanese ultra bleep band. What else do we have? Oh, this one's pretty crazy. The album itself is a Korean pop song with noise and static on top, and then Juntaro is growling like some sort of death metal singer puking into the microphone. So it's like the writer calls this extreme noise pop. The story of its release is incredible because the Gergerigegege announced the sale of this in a newspaper, which was pressed to 3,000 copies on flexi disc, and they were going to be sold at a beach. And quite a few people showed up, but instead of selling the singles, they threw them all into a pile and set it on fire while Ghetto 30 was masturbating next to it.
That is just that's something else right there, Jimmy.
They're just taking performance art to the extreme. I feel like maybe you don't find this as incredible as I do.
No, it is. It just blows my mind.
'Cause it's just so interesting. Because
then they should have done 10,000 copies, Jimmy. Why'd they limit it to 3,000?
I don't think they had enough money to press 10,000 copies. I don't think they were selling that much music, probably. Their budget was probably pretty low.
I like the name Gero 30. That's a good name.
After that, there's a few other albums. Some are interesting, some are not. This one is called Nothing to Hear / Nothing to 1985. Is apparently the harshest record in the Ghetto discography. I don't think I sent a link to this one because I don't want to put you through that.
Jimmy, you're letting me down.
These other songs are already like a lot. I don't know what this sounds like, but I don't think I should send it to you.
Jimmy, there's nothing to hear.
Wow. But the entire piece seems to be made entirely of feedback and some instrumentation, and never loses its harshness during 1 hour long runtime. And its lo-fi recording technique makes it to be nearly white noise. On the next EP, it's called Kita no Maru Hyakkei. I don't know what that means, but it has the word north, circle, 100, and one that I can't read. So on this EP, it's basic noise tracks, and apparently they use an organ sound that sounds like it comes out of a 60s prog rock album, and then they go into techno, and then they have some noise tracks again. This is the description of the album. Start, 1985. Our first C30 cassette is the first studio recordings as noise making. 1985 and 1986, studio recording works for our first LP. Now, I think Juntaro is writing all the descriptions for the albums, and he speaks English, but it's not very good, so a lot of it is kind of confusing. Now original members: Juntaro Yamauchi, now 26, age old. Gero 56, Tetsuya Endo, now 56, age old. He is the exhibitionist. We meet at SM Club in Shinjuku, Tokyo on 1985. We do the SM performance in this SM Club membership since 1986. Many live, about 3 live in 1 month since 1987. Every live is different. SM performance. Drum solo by Gero 56. 100 egg use. Small Muth 10 mouth. Punk band. House music. I don't know what 100 egg use means.
Maybe it's in the music. The eggs.
They use 100 eggs?
They use 100 eggs.
I'll have to come back and listen to that later and figure out how many eggs, or see if I can hear all 100 eggs.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what he ate that day to give him the fuel, the energy. Maybe that's he vomited in other tracks. Maybe he vomited 100 different eggs.
That's a lot of eggs to eat. No wonder he threw them all up.
This is art, Jimmy. This is what you gotta do to make art nowadays.
Yeah, they've got some crazy art. That's to say the least.
Can 17? Can you say that on the radio?
Say what?
Can you say that title on the radio? 17?
Not sure. I'm gonna skip over it.
Okay.
It's not that interesting, anyways. This one is the worst, like the absolute worst, and I don't think I will ever listen to this. It's called Night. It's one of the most infamous and sought after, for some reason, releases by the Gergerigegege. Juntaro yells 1, 2, 3, 4, and disgusting, outrageous, slippery sounds are made. It's an unknown man taking a dump. And then they do the same thing on side B of the album, but with a blowjob.
Oh, you can say that, but you couldn't say 17.
If somebody calls in to complain, so be it. If I was given the okay to talk about this.
It's after 10 p.m. somewhere.
Yeah. All the listeners, just remember it's after 10 p.m. somewhere. Then they have an EP. Yeah, they have an EP called No Sound, which actually does have sound on it. But it apparently is just the sounds of throwing junk and chains in an echo chamber. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
Definitely can't say that one on air. I'll skip over that. And here we get to the next one we're listening to, called Yellow Trash Bazooka. And the blueprint is that they yell 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he says words that start with G. And overall, it's about 118 songs, or it is 118 songs in 10 minutes of this. So if you want to cut it off.
This might be the best album so far, Jimmy.
If you really like it, we can listen to the whole thing.
Let's give it a go.
Okay. Let's listen now.
Gadget! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gap! Gape! Motors! Gear! Geek! Genderful! Genitals! Get any? Get down. Get down to business. Get me fixed. Get in. Get into someone's pants. Get it on. Get it up. Get laid. Get off. Get one's ashes home. Get some round eye. Get through. Oh, getting any? Get to first base. Gigi. Gigolo. G.I. shit. Give a shit. Give head. Give someone the finger. Glad eye. Glands. Globes. Glory hole. Go! Goalkeeper! Oh. Go all the way! Go around the world! Gobble prick! Round two, round two! Go down south. Oh. Go get fucked. Gold digger. Golden shower. Golden shower boy. Go look at the crop. Gonorrhea. Smack. Good lay. Go off. Go off half cock. Goose. Goosey. Gospel, leave before thee. Go stargazing on once. Go steady. Go straight. Go the limit. Go to bed. Grafenberg spot. Gravy! Greek culture! Grind. 1, 2, 3. Groin. 1, 2. Goes out. Groupie. Cheese pies. What is there? G-string. Go. What do they want? Gummit. What do they want? Gun. What do they want? Gynecologist. What do they want?
Hello, everybody. This is editor DJ Jimmy Legs, as Hayden wants me to call myself. You are listening to KSUA 91.5 Fairbanks, Alaska. This is your hourly reminder that you're doing that. The show is Brushing My Teeth to Mersbo, the best and possibly only noise show in Fairbanks, and also the best radio show in Alaska. We're talking about the Gergerigegege with Hayden. Let's go.
You done with that one?
Jimmy, I'm done with that one. I think I started through 26. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to go back, but I didn't get to the 13-minute mark on that. But the thing is, like, I've enjoyed Gold Digger or whatnot, I think it was Gold Digger. I like the one where it changed, but it's like, to me, it sounded like the exact same thing after every word. Which I think it's artistic, whatnot, but it was like, I got tired of it.
Yeah, I don't really see the appeal of something like this. Like, I think it says this is one of the most popular ones. I don't really see what the appeal is, because it's like so jarring, because it goes from completely silent to like ultimate noise in like seconds, and it just keeps repeating over and over again.
Right, I tried to see if there was a difference, but after the word, and it sounded like the same thing to me.
There is a difference, but it's like not not like a big difference, because it's just extreme noise every time. Something like that.
The way it is, Jimmy.
Something like that I don't really get, but people like it.
Obviously.
The next album they released is called Endless Humiliation. Uh-oh. It's a major turning point in the ghetto discography. Here's a totally humorless release that's not remotely noise at all. 59 minutes and 59 seconds of a sad, dark solo piano improvisation. On top of that, there's a recording of a Japanese bum in a subway. And apparently it's dedicated to Jutaro's mother, who apparently was a famous classical pianist. So there's a lot of questions to be had here. It's dedicated to his mother, but it's called Endless Humiliation. It's a long solo piano improvisation. What's the meaning behind it?
You're going to have to ask one of those thousands of viewers, the 10 million viewers that have the master's degree, okay?
If one of my 10 million viewers knows the answer to that, let me know. But yeah, it's the first sad release. Hotel Ultra, we'll go over it really fast. The first track is cheesy disco and jazz music. There's sampled gay porn that goes over it, which we can't listen to, but it's just so postmodern. Can I say that? I'm going to say it.
Say that, Jimmy.
It's just so postmodern. There's no...
You're Jimmy Legs. You're the authority on this stuff, Jimmy.
This band just completely takes all the beauty and all the meaning out of art. It's just so... I have to say, postmodern is the only word I know how to use in this case.
That's a lot of syllables right there. At least 3.
Postmodern, exactly 3. Okay, so this next one is called Instrument Disorder. It's 170 songs in 38 minutes. We're not going to listen to all of that. But this is the one that is described as one of the loudest. One reviewer described it as Chinese firecrackers in a dumpster. The guy who wrote all this, he says, I myself have yet to be able to get through the whole thing. It's just that insane. And this guy's a huge fan. He's a huge fan of the band. So we're going to listen to like a couple minutes probably.
Do it, Jimmy.
Ready, go. So I like that more than the last thing, but that is incredibly loud.
It was. Was each song only a minute long?
I don't know. I don't know how the songs are split up there because it didn't sound like they were split up. It sounded like one continuous thing.
I have to say, not my least favorite.
I think my least favorite was the last one. I don't know about you.
Oh, the last one probably was the worst.
Yeah. That's what this show's all about. It's bringing people together, you know? We can agree on one thing, which is that Yellow Trash Bazooka was the worst one so far.
It's not Yellow Submarine. It's Yellow Trash Bazooka.
Notable song titles on this album are Pooh, Moon, Home Cooking, I don't know if I can say that. It's a bad word in British English. I don't know if we really consider it a bad word over here on the other side of the pond. But
Starts with an A.
yeah, the listeners can figure it out. They're smart. Pocket pool, boner, Bloody Mary, afternoon delight, sterile, venereal disease. So yeah. And then there's the next one is Life Documents. It's in 1994. It's a techno album. And I was going to play this one, but apparently June Taro moans and groans over it. And I thought maybe it sounds a little bit too much like stuff we can't play on air. So I had to skip over it, sadly. There's an album called All You Need Is Audio Shock. I looked it up on YouTube, and one of the one of the suggestions were All Shook Up by Elvis. And so maybe the Gergerigegege was inspired by Elvis, or maybe Elvis was inspired by this band. Who knows?
You know, you could tell me Elvis died yesterday, and I'd say that sounds about right. I have no clue the timeline going on here.
Yeah, Elvis. Rest in peace, Elvis. He died a couple days ago.
He could have. We don't know. I don't know.
For album number 29, it's called Veal Plaisir. And it contains a Japanese radio show with a man and woman, and then eventually they are starting to orgasm. So once again, continuing with just the most vile and worst music that they can make. And after that, they have another punk EP called Wreck of Rock and Roll Former Self. And apparently it sounds like Jun Taro pushing a rusty washing machine down his stairs. And it lasts for about 10 minutes. So that's pretty fun. Number 31, Mort Duce. But Mort Duce live. The CD opens with drums and what seems to be a sample of a bee for about 7 minutes. Then we get some ambient noise, sheet metal banging, and a tape of a Japanese woman talking for 15 minutes. So apparently this is a live album. I don't really know if it was for real or not. It's interesting. I don't know what it'd be like to see this band live. I feel like that's something I would never want to do.
That's for sure.
But after this, they have they make like a real song, a real punk song, which we're going to listen to. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll like this one for real.
I like the real.
It was a split EP with another band. I don't think I can say their name on air. The Gerogeri, their side was called Ramones. They, I think, are trying to imitate the Ramones a little bit. And we get to kind of hear what they would sound like if they were just like a normal quote unquote punk band. If you want to listen to that, we'll do that really fast.
Change motor.
That was just like a punk song.
I don't think it comes as any surprise, Jimmy. By far, my favorite song out of them. Like, I actually would listen to that again.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, the vocals were a little bit weird sometimes, but other than that, that was like just a straightforward punk song. So it just kind of shows that, first of all, they can actually play music. They're able to play music if they want to, but also just shows how like versatile they are. They do a lot of things.
Well, you can't just trust just anybody on the internet. But on another video on one of their whack things, album one, longer ones, they were talking about how it is structured. I don't know what that person knows, but
It could be structured. It's hard to tell sometimes. It's hard to know. But yeah, they have like a real punk EP.
Yeah.
They have some like J-pop songs too. They're a weird band.
boom, I'm going to be checking them out later. I'll probably listen to that whole album.
I probably will too. I want to look into this band more. I haven't listened to most of it. We're listening to most of these songs I haven't heard before. But I do want to like learn more about this band and actually like listen to some of the crazy stuff they have and some of the more normal stuff they have.
And I want to listen to that piano piece too.
The hour-long one?
I probably won't listen to it for an hour, but
This is number 34, Eternal Energy for Continuing Blundering Life. It's a split single, and according to the author of this list, contains one of their very best moments. The first thing we hear is the crowd noise and a guy speaking French or Spanish. This guy doesn't know? Weird. Then goes into a trippy feedback and junk noise assault. And it evolves much more as it goes on with increasing amounts of layers. Apparently ends with a ton of feedback. So this is the next one we're listening to. According to the author, it's one of their very best moments.
Azia. Uma poesia efervescente e sem contraindicações.
right. Just move that up here to the low cut and try to keep it out there to the right.
Yeah! It's a little too far to the right, Bob, and I don't know if it's going to kick left. Oh, what?
That song, not as musical as I expected it to be, based on the description. I don't know about you.
I can't really remember what the description was now.
Well, the description, he was like containing one of their very best moments.
Oh, definitely not. Didn't make any sense. It was just kind of average for them.
Par for the course for the Gergerigegege. I don't know. I thought it wasn't that bad, but I was expecting something way better just based on how much he hyped it up.
Maybe he's talking about the history of it.
I don't think so. He doesn't talk about the history of this one. I don't know. I think he was just wrong in this case.
Only 300 copies, Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, there's not. I don't think he had a big audience, or this band had a big audience.
What are you talking about? The other album had 3,000.
3,000, but they burnt all of them. They
Still 3,000 copies.
The next one is called Recollections of Primary Masturbation. And apparently, according to the author here, it's a good starting place for noisecore style ghetto. I don't know. In my opinion, I don't know if there is a good starting place. Maybe that punk song.
Yeah.
But the track 1 on this album is Juntaro's first ever recording, which consists of a man banging a drum kit, making swishing noises with a guitar, and some of Juntaro's finest screaming, according to him.
Well, we know this is a good start because there's at least no groanings over the track.
Yeah. A lot of songs have groaning. But then they have some other songs, and then track 4 and 5 are probably the most interesting things to be found here. It's a grand total of 233 tracks spread over 2.
How's that possible? 223 tracks over 2 tracks?
Well, I think it's like in the style of Yellow Trash Bazooka, right? Where they do the song and it's really short and they go to the next one. So there's a ton of tracks like that, but instead of splitting it all up, they just put it all onto 2 overall. I think. I don't know for sure.
I'm picking up the vibe.
A lot of crazy stuff. And then album number 36 is called Hell Driver. According to the author, here's where everything went horribly wrong for Juntaro in his mind. All fun went completely down the drain with this one, and the fact that the liner notes refers the record as a final tribute doesn't make it any better. The album is very sad and beautiful, and yet one of the strangest things that the author has heard.
Is this their final album? It says 1999.
No, it's not their final one. It's a final tribute, quote unquote, but it's not their final album.
What are they tributing?
Who knows? It's mysterious.
Probably me.
That you were born in like 97, 98. Once they got word, they wrote an album about you.
That's right.
So the first track is an untitled field recording from 92 with a Japanese woman singing a song and then people using a shovel in the street. The next track is a 15-minute piano improvisation, and the last song is a 35-minute long high-pitched drone, which was recorded live in 96. So very versatile, big range on this album. None of it sounds particularly nice to listen to. Oh, I forgot there's more. Track 4 is called Pray Silently, Pray for Late Mr. Hiroyuki Okuda, which he invented an instrument and the instrument's played on this track, but apparently it sounds like, quote, severe torture of guitar strings. The last track on this album is another piano track, but it sounds like it was recorded inside of the piano. And then there's another drone album, another ambient album after that, and this is close to their last album. It's called Saturday Night Big Bleep Salaryman. I can't say that one for sure.
You can't say that one? It's just an animal you eat.
Okay. Saturday Night Big Rooster Salaryman. The listeners are smart. They'll get it. But
There's a lot of big things out there, Jimmy.
I'm sure they'll get this. I'm sure they'll get Big Rooster Salaryman.
Oh, you said Rooster. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up.
Oh, okay, yeah. Saturday Night Big. I probably shouldn't keep saying that, but the story ends on a twisted and sad note. There's no fun to be found on this record. None. I can't even listen to it. It's just so depressing. I can't put my finger on it. Why? This record definitely captured a mentally unstable, self-loathing man at work. Juntado simply isn't the fun-loving noise punk god we all know him as anymore. He's just tired of anything. So, very sad. And this was the last album, I think.
Oh man, that sounds so cool. Like to go out with your last album being so sad.
But there's a twist later. We'll get to a twist, but we're not there yet. That was the last one. There's an album in 99. Remember that this was released in 2001. Saturday Night Big Rooster Salaryman was released in 2000.
Stop saying it, Jimmy.
There's this thing called Recycled that was quote unquote by the Gergerigegege, which says one of the less worthwhile releases by the Ghettos, basically a mixtape of J-pop. But what actually happened is they were paid to make an album, but they didn't deliver. So somebody else just put a bunch of songs together and released it as them, which is pretty fun, but it's not an actual release by them, even though it says that it is. They have a couple mysterious releases, like one called Piano River, which no one has ever heard. It says, not for sale, for friends only.
I don't really feel like I'm missing out, though, to be honest.
Well, you don't know. Nobody knows if it's good or not.
Yeah, people can say that all the time, you know. I have the greatest painting in my room, Jimmy. You're not allowed to see it. It's not that good. It's not going to be that much better. If you've seen all my other paintings, you're not going to be like, wow, this painting, though. The unseeable one.
I guess so. And then in 1985, they have another one called the Gergerigegege, which the description says, for use, 100 cassette tapes with no sound, holding a handle of metal box with 100 cassette in it and shaking it lively, because box is very, very large, maybe 3 set sold.
What?
I don't really know what that means exactly. I want to talk about this. Not sure if I should, but I'm going to. It was a live performance where Ghetto 30, he's the exhibitionist. He was just using a vacuum on his private parts to do you-know-what. And that was
clean him up, vacuum.
He was just trying to clean it up a little bit. No, he's doing something a little bit more sinister, but that was the live show. Not a live show that I would want to go to, personally.
No, me neither.
And then there was another bootleg that came out in 2012 by them, but it wasn't actually officially released by them. And then there's a question of, what happened to them? Where'd they go? They went silent for so long. There are many rumors of Juntado's whereabouts right now. Shortly after the release of Saturday Night, blah, 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 he stated that he was very tired of everything. Nothing has been heard from him since, and therefore, many fans see the last record as a suicide note. The last couple records were purely made by Juntado since Ghetto 30 was staying at a hospital. He did some shows on his own, but there was no fun for me or the audience. Ghetto 30 could possibly be dead, leading to the sad end. Rumor has it that Juntado's brother died in a car accident and slowly became mentally insane from depression. There are also some rumors that Ghetto 30 wound up in the psych ward, and some people say they're both dead, and most people say he's either dead or missing. However, there are claims to support the fact that Juntado may very well be with us, but simply retired from the noise scene. Some of his closest friends have said that he's still around, but not creating, and is currently a very tortured being. One internet commenter says, dead? He can't be, since Juntado approved and commented on a Gergerigegege tribute album a couple of years ago. And this list came out in 2013, or he compiled it all in 2013. And then out of nowhere, he came back. Juntaro came back in 2016, and he released a song called the Gergerigegege. And it came out in 2016. I listened to a little bit already. It's a lot friendlier than the other releases. I will listen to his return and see how you feel about it.
Let's do it.
So obviously that's pretty repetitive.
Nonetheless, might be my favorite song out of them all.
Yeah, I think so too. I really like that. I think it's kind of pleasant actually. It's pretty noisy, but it still is.
It reminds me of the song I was talking about earlier, the Grandeur.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have the headphones, but I imagine if I had the headphones, it'd be like that, but if you made it pleasant.
I think if you had headphones, it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be that nice. It's a little bit high pitched, a little bit harsh, but as long as your volume isn't like super high, it's going to sound pretty good, at least to me. I don't know how the listeners feel about this.
Well, who knows? We'll get those millions of emails.
Yeah, they'll all let me know. It's like,
yeah,
I really like this, or I didn't really like this. But
we're only sending you one sentence emails, eh, Jimmy? They're not expanding on their thought process here.
Well, they're busy. They're busy people too, and they know I get millions of emails. They don't want to like make me read through like their whole life story every week.
They just leave their opinion in the subject line. No body.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was the story summary of the Gergerigegege. Very interesting band. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention that's not on this list that I really like. They have an album called Art Is Over, which is not an album, but is actually a single octopus tentacle housed in a box. They sold it as an album, but it was like a tentacle in a cassette box that was like wrapped in plastic.
And they just sold it.
Yeah, they sold it
as if there was an album.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the 3,000 albums they sold all just had tentacles in them, not actual real albums.
Maybe they bought a bunch of tentacles and they all went bad, and they're like, how do we get rid of these without, just completely wasting them?
Set them on fire.
Set them on fire. That's them. You have any thoughts about this band, about the music?
No, I think there's some I'm definitely like. I'm going to listen to all 15 minutes of this last song we listened to.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely I want to check out those other J-pop and whatnot songs they have.
I'm going to play the whole song on the air, the whole 50-minute song, the whole 10-minute Yellow Trash Bazooka, even though I don't really like it that much. I will play the whole thing because it's what the listeners want.
It's what the listeners want. Jimmy Legs serves it to them the way they want it.
That's my job. I respect the listeners and they respect me. We have a symbiotic relationship.
You got to start sending more emails to the viewers.
I should send it out before the show starts. And be like, hey guys, I've got a good show going. I hope you really like it. And then I'm not gonna CC all of them though either. I'm gonna send it out one by one, individually.
Right. Personal touch.
Like, hey blank, hey blank.
Yeah,
put their name in everyone.
Where it's not my name personally. Like, hit me with my name in those emails.
Yeah, full name with middle initial.
Yeah. Maybe throw in a little nickname there.
Yeah.
Add an extra personal touch.
Do like a Mr. or a Sir, Mrs. Some sort of thing beforehand.
Throw in a little PhD in there.
Yeah, even if they don't have a PhD, it shows that you respect them and you think that they're very intelligent.
They deserve to have a PhD.
Yeah, I have a lot of emails to send out then.
10 million. It's going to take a while.
Exactly 10 million. We have exactly 10 million listeners.
Not all the listeners are in America. Very diverse group here. Worldwide.
Yeah.
Being served by your host and DJ, Jimmy Legs.
DJ Jimmy Legs. I didn't think that I would have to come out today as the Jimmy Legs, but it's true. I'm DJ Jimmy Legs.
What before?
I just didn't think that name would be popping up again anytime soon.
Were you just DJ Jimmy?
Yeah, I always just said, well, sometimes I was DJ Jimmy, and then sometimes I'd have a fake name. Last week I was DJ. My co-host was DJ Paul Blart. I was DJ Commander James Kent, which was one of the bad guys in the movie Paul Blart.
Creative, enjoyable right there. But when it's not, I think you should go Jimmy Lakes.
maybe
pick up the vibe.
Maybe I will go with DJ Jimmy Lakes more often.
That way, when you send a letter to the president, you send a message to the president, say, former president, that, hey, you need to have a mustache, you know. He'll take you seriously because he goes, oh, that guy, he's not just using his name as a DJ. He's using his DJ name as a DJ. He's DJ Jimmy Lakes. KSUA 97.1.
Not 97.1. It's 91.5.
91.5.
KSUA 91.5.
KSUA 91.5. Jimmy Lakes.
Yeah, Obama is a frequent listener of the show too. So
yeah, there's 10 million viewers. Why wouldn't he be one of them? Doesn't he have a PhD?
I don't know. Does he?
I don't know.
I'm kind of curious.
It's a qualification to listen to this, though. So if he doesn't, then probably not going to get the message to him.
Obama, if you don't have a PhD, you're not allowed to listen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to end it. I'll stop the recording now.